Greetings everyone, welcome aboard. My name is Joseph James. It's a Thursday morning, January 20th, 2011. Here's your live trading recap. Guys, what a busy day we had. Boy, what an incredible day. It was a great day in the room. Took a bunch of questions, took a bunch of trades, made some pretty good money. Almost gave it back towards the end of the morning, right? We waited around for the crude inventories at 11 o'clock this morning, and I had to sit on my hands to make sure I didn't give back any more money. We'll talk about that here in a moment with you guys, though. What happened today? What happened today? Let's get started. Morning routine prepared us for 8:30 news. Okay, so we had a lot of news events today. We had a holiday on Monday. Monday holiday pushed all the news events back. Now, I believe there's some sort of economic summit this weekend, so there's no news tomorrow either. So we had no news on Monday, no news on Friday, and everything got crammed into Wednesday and Thursday. Well, Thursday, here we are Thursday morning, we had jobless claims here first thing this morning. So of course, we post our morning prep on the blog. 7:45 a.m. Eastern Time, we post the morning prep on the blog, and we went over the morning routine with you guys here at 8 o'clock this morning. At 8:30, we had jobless claims, and that was really the catalyst that got this whole party started. Jobless claims came out a little bit lower than expected, right? Lower than expected. That's going to be dollar bullish. Dollar bullish will mean bearish on everything else. So dollar tried to rise off the lows. And again, if you missed the morning prep this morning, guys, you really missed a lot. We talked about what the dollar was telling us this morning. And the dollar really gave us a real strong clue as far as what to expect. Did you guys see it this morning? We had two things. First thing was dollar was at the lows and rising off those lows. So we thought, of course, rising dollar, we should be looking for a short. We also knew in the dollar we had to break back above the trend line overhead. Remember, guys, we had a wedge pattern, right, on that dollar. Dollar rolling around inside that wedge. Well, once we broke above that wedge back into the sideways range above the dollar, right? Remember that sideways range from earlier on this week? We broke below the sideways range. Now we're going to go back up into it. We rise back up into that sideways range. Dollar rising. We're looking for sellers on gold, crude, euro, everything else. But there was one really big technical indicator that told us we were probably going to be looking at a pretty good day today. It was the average 2 range. Average 2 range this morning, if you guys recall, we looked at it and we saw some really, what would the word be, right? Really exciting things in the average 2 range. We'll take a look at it in a moment, right? But it got us very excited for what we thought was going to come this morning. Now, we began to see prices fall, okay, once the news came out. 8:30 news comes out. Jobless claims are lower than expected. That's dollar bullish, right? Bearish for everything else. So we're ready for it, right? We're ready for this market drop. Now, sometimes a falling market can be more difficult to trade than a sideways market. And I think a lot of you guys probably agree with me, right? Buying the lows and selling the highs are really the easier ways to trade. Well, when you have a market that's falling out of the sky like this, it can be difficult sometimes. Because if you try to sell the lows, you'll get 3 or 4 ticks down. The buyers will step in, right, and they'll bounce you out of that trade before taking it right back down. So we never want to sell the lows, and that was one thing we talked about this morning, guys. We saw the market drop, and my exact words were, let's not get over anxious and sell these lows. Let's wait for a retracement off those lows, sell the retracement. That's exactly what we did today, guys, and that made us 150 ticks in the first 45 minutes. We sold retracements on the way down. Now, once we ended up all the way down, we look for what? The 3 signs of price reversal. So once we took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 winning trades all the way down, we now look for the 3 signs of the price reversal. We look for speed to slow down, momentum to confirm, and we look for big money buyers. Once we saw that speed slow down, and we started to be able to pick up on ideas of, well, maybe this big drop, maybe we're going to see a big pop. Whenever we see a big drop, we always want to buy those lows, right, and get the pop back up. So we bought the lows once we saw the speed slow down. That was another winning trade for us. So we sell, right, selling retracements on the way down. And then at those lows, we see the 3 signs of the price reversals, right? Go to the blog right now, look for 3 signs of price reversals, and you'll see the video on it. We look for those 3 signs, we buy the lows take us back off the lows, and we make another winning trade there. Now, this was really exciting. If you guys were this morning, we had some fun, right? It was exciting. Everyone making money today. This is what we love about trading. But what happened towards the end? What did we see towards the end? And we knew this was going to come. We knew that as crude oil inventories at 11 o'clock, remember, this morning we had inventories on crude oil at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Now, this is kind of a strange way to do it, right? 11 o'clock, it's the end of the morning. So what usually happens is, usually we have 10:30 news for crude, and usually there's a horrible personality before the news, and then we get a great personality after the news. So normally on Wednesdays, you're going to see me trading other markets than crude oil because we simply don't get the moves before 10:30 on Wednesdays. Today's a Thursday. Remember, we squished that news all into Thursday now. So now instead of 10:30 on crude, it's now 11 o'clock on crude. Now, we clearly saw a ton of opportunity on crude today. So there's no guessing at all that the personality before the news was just fine. But we knew that coming after the news might be a nightmare waiting to happen, right? What was our concerns? Our concerns were we're going to see a lower than expected volume in reaction to the 11 o'clock news today. Now, lower than expected volume, what does that mean? That means we're going to see the news event come out. Inventories came out right, a lot higher. Okay, they were expecting a negative inventory. They get a plus inventory. Okay, so inventories were rising at 11 o'clock. Well, naturally, there are a lot of different ways to kind of dig into that inventory release number. Okay, I won't even go into that right now. If you go to our blog right now, the morning prep gave you guys the link to the crude inventories, and that told you guys all about it this morning. So we talked about inventories today in a live trade room, and I think everyone was pretty much comfortable for understanding what the inventories were, what they meant. Here's the problem: we don't trade the news. Wait, what? You're right, we don't trade the news. But I thought you just said, Joe, right? We trade the reaction to the news. So I'm not trading the actual news report. I'm going to give it a couple minutes. I'll then wait for the reaction. Here's where that lower volume comes in. Now, normally at 10:30, we see a big reaction, right? Normally. Sometimes it's pretty slow and sluggish, but normally after the news event on crude, we see a nice big reaction, right? Whether it be up, down, something happens. Today was no different, but just like we expected, it's a different day of the week later in the morning. So what's most likely going to happen is most professional traders will skip the event altogether because they know if anything's different than their weekly routine, it probably won't be as good as it usually is, right? So whenever you have a news event that is typically on Wednesday at 10:30, like crude inventories, and then this week it's Thursday at 11, right? Later in the week and late in the morning. What does that tell me? That tells me the people who are used to trading crude at 10:30 on Wednesdays are not going to be trading crude on Thursday 11 o'clock. So that's why we knew the 11 o'clock news today might be a really great opportunity for some winning trades. But at the same time, in the back of my mind, I remember, be expecting some choppy, maybe some lower volume, and we may not get anything at all. I had to really be disciplined, right? Take out the duct tape and literally duct tape your hands down to your chair here so you don't fall victim, right, to trading after the news without that good reaction. I took 2 trades after the news today, right? Took a stop on it and then made the money half back, but we realized we were not getting the reaction that we wanted. We knew who had control. If you guys recall, we knew who had control. The buyers were in control, but the problem was there wasn't the volume we needed to make the moves happen. Once again, right, what were your notes saying today? If you look at your notepad right now, I'm always taking notes, right? Always taking notes. What did I write down in my notes today? I wrote down 2 things. Final target. We continue to see the final target being one of the most important parts of our trading. Trade management continues to be a vital part of our success. We made $1,000 today with the third and final target. You make twice as much money when you take out that third target. And again, guys, we're going to train you guys on all this stuff. We just did a great training with our members yesterday on trade management. And the second thing I wrote down, right, the second thing on my notes today is follow those rules, right? Oh boy, how many more times am I going to give back some money with momentum pointing up on the 13, pointing down on the 21, right? Those don't confirm. I'm joking, obviously, right, guys? It was a great day, but I continued to make mental mistakes where I didn't follow my rules. And today was a good example of just how easy it is. Follow the rules, and you get winning trades, right? I took two losses today, and both losses I didn't follow my rules.